Hello, welcome back to Monster Maid's fellow degenerates.
Yes, welcome to the 18th episode of Season 2 of Monster Mates. Spencer, please choose a number between 1 and 131.
42.
42. Oh goodness, it's actually a monster girl this time. Well,
Oh,
we've all
yay!
fairies.
Oh, no.
Fairy girls.
Alright,
Fairies. Man,
we
this
may
is
have to
gonna
get
be
personal on
interesting.
this one.
We're gonna. Okay, so I'm gonna put a disclaimer right here, right now, for all of you audiences. We're about to get very TMI here, so if that makes you uncomfortable for whatever reason, I suggest you skip this episode. All right,
Very
so
TLI about us specifically.
yep. All right, so
Now, the
first,
reason...
first,
No, yeah.
okay. So before we get into this, what are we gonna rate this?
Oh, God. Alright. Are we rating the experience or our own specific experience of what we think?
Yes.
Oh, no. Alright, fine. I'm
Both.
gonna give this a 6.
I'm giving this a 1.
Oh.
All right, so Spencer, tell the lovely people at home who have stuck around why this is gonna get TMI.
Alright, everybody. So this is gonna get really TMI because we're gonna have to go into details. Because the fairies are very small, we're talking hand holding size. Now, here's the thing. Do we want to go for, like we can hold them with one hand or two hands? Because that's very different.
The specific lewd image I am seeing on the Wikipedia clearly shows a person using one hand to handle them. So,
Alright. So this is...
it is a very nice picture of the one hand use, but nonetheless.
So there's
Here we go.
every time. Okay, so and if anyone's seen Interspecies Reviewers, the whole concept is they would measure how long your dick is, and depending on how long you were, would be how well you could enjoy the fairy girls. So the longer you were, the less you could enjoy them because they couldn't handle you. That literally is.
You would literally break them.
You would literally break them.
And not in the fun way.
Like literally like death. In the sense of they're like, no, you can't do this. Why? Because so the bigger dick you have, the larger the fairy. Unless they straight up just go, you can't do this because you're not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, given, I feel like even if you are a bigger guy, you could still enjoy this. I honestly think you can, because, like, you can get multiple fairies doing multiple things. You having, like 3 or 4 licking all over your shaft or whatever. Like, that sounds enjoyable.
There's just gonna be not very many you can actually put your dick inside their pussy.
Yeah, pretty much. I've read a dojin for this where it straight up was like, they were like, well, I can't have sex with a fairy, and then the thing goes, don't worry, from their pussy to their mouth is just a shaft, so it's just literally like, so it's just you can go all the way through.
Oh my goodness.
And I just went, that would be nice if that was true.
Yeah.
So I think we're going off of that's not the case here.
Yeah, no. That's as nice as that would be. We're no, probably not. All right.
So okay.
Are we gonna read the actual Wikipedia entry?
I will read it.
Okay.
Fairies are a tiny winged races of creatures in the Monster Girl Encyclopedia world that are not naturally counted amongst the monsters. One of the intelligent non-monster races along with dwarves, elves, and humans. Fairies can be corrupted when exposed to demonic energy, turning them into nymphomaniacal monster versions of their original selves. A playful, carefree race, fairies dwell in the magical spirit realm called the Fairy Kingdom, where they
Of
make
course.
little houses out of trees and mushrooms. Even before the age of the current Demon Lord, fairies have always been an all-female race. Though they were, and many still are, asexual creatures born via the blooming of fairy flowers, their highly magical nature means that like elements, they are easily susceptible to corruptions, and on becoming monsters, their nature changes to sexual creatures who get pregnant and give birth. This does not, however, change their size at all. So, sex with fairy is a stretchy affair. Still, they're monsters, so it's exceptionally pleasurable to them and becomes their new favorite game. Although fairies are a specific species, fairy is also used as a... I don't know what that is.
I'm gonna look up the pronunciation of that real quick. Give me 2 ticks.
Synecdoche?
Hold on.
I think that's Synecdoche. Basically, it's still Monster Girl Encyclopedia. To refer...
Synodoc.
A Synecdoche. To refer to all species of the fairy family, which includes Lineancides too, but not pixies. That are completely different. They're really imp monsters. And a bunch of other ones. This race is the most numerous of the fairies living in the fairy kingdom. The fairies are a race that has the form of little girls that are so tiny their body can be held by a human hand. They are as childish as the inside as they look, and they're a cheerful race that love music and dancing. Originally, they are not called monsters, but those that receive succubus energy and change to succubi are treated as monsters. They come to the forest in a human world from the fairy kingdom in order to play with the human men. Once they spot a human man, they'll fly around and likely beg to be played with. However, they have no resistance to monsters. Given that they're childish, they often play with monsters such as pixies, imps, who are also childish in the same way, and then become monsters due to the demonic energy. They're likely to be taught plenty of pleasurable games too, due to ideas put in their head by monsters when they play together, and instinct after becoming a monster. They know that if they play with human men, they can have more fun and get off a lot more. When they get to play with human men, it's mostly sex they're after.
Of course.
They can serve as a man by rubbing their entire little body against the penis, and aside from that, with their tiny body. It may look as if not even the tip of the human penis would fit inside the vagina, but they've become monsters. Their body has adapted for convenient sex with human men, and they can take the shape of their tummy swell and receive a penis of their entire body.
My goodness.
From the look of it and the powerful squeeze given to the penis, it seems as if they are about to be torn apart. But even in such a state, they do not feel pain and their body won't break.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, thank goodness.
The only thing they taste is sweet pleasure when semen, which is even sweeter and more delicious than any kind of confectionery, is poured inside. They experience happiness as a monster.
Thank goodness.
If there's only one, they still have a small body and they are weak. So you can catch them and play with them appropriately and then drive them away if you're satisfied. It's also possible to keep and discipline them. But if there's a group of them, it'll be troublesome. They'll swarm over your entire body and you'll end up being forced to play with them until you pass out. When multiple fairies form a circle and dance, the circle of dancing will faintly glimmer due to the fairy's magical energy, and a fairy ring will come forth. The thing in the center of it will be taken to the fairy kingdom along with the dancing fairies. In the same way one is being attacked by a group of them, they can copulate so lewdly and wildly as if they were dancing. A fairy ring will be created, and the man under attack will wake up to find himself in the fairy kingdom. The fairy kingdom is so full of happiness that one will end up continuing to play with countless numbers of fairies for the rest of their lives while enveloped in happiness and no worries to care for.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
that puts you at ease a bit.
We're not going to break them.
Yo, you cannot break them. You can literally not break them.
Okay, cool.
So, I'm gonna. I like this. This is fun.
Yes.
This is literally. I just imagine Legend of Zelda like having a jar fairy, just a pocket
man.
fairy.
Pretty much.
And honestly, every time I ever see like a fairy in like a doujin or a hentai of any kind, they're always cute as hell.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like it's pretty hard to mess up a fairy looking as cute as it does. Like you would have to specifically make it like not cute in order for it not to be cute.
Yeah. My favorite one of my favorite fetishes of all time is the stomach bulge.
Yep, very very good, very good fetish.
I love it. And so this is literally like perfect for just that. I like this a lot because of that.
Yep. That and for the later on the cumflation as well.
Yes.
That this is hitting a couple of good spots. Which hey, yeah,
You get the bulge, you get the conflation, you get the
literal just own a hole use.
literally they are an own a hole that will feel pleasure and feel and scream in pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the best.
Yes.
Um
Oh.
I feel like your one is changing.
It is like since I won't accidentally kill one,
Right?
this is gonna be a lot better.
Hey, I can push it one in and comes out the other and she's dead.
Yep.
Oops.
And all of her
Although
guts are just exploded.
the only thing about this that is bad is you can't put your entire thing in.
Yeah, no, it's kind of just the head, and
Yeah.
that's really it.
Now, given that could be changed by if you had like more than one fairy, where you can just have them do other roles.
Yep, you can have the fairies, work the rest of the shaft. You can have them playing with your balls, etc. Again,
yeah.
But that's if you get a group of them. If you only have the one, little bit different.
If you have the one, a little bit different. The only thing you're not really going to get is a big like a deep blowjob. That's not possible.
Yeah, no, you're just gonna have to be satisfied with her literally just licking the tippiest of the tip.
And you were literally gonna make her look pregnant with your cum. She will drink all of it to the point where her stomach is bulging out.
Yep. Which I mean, hey, that's what they're looking for, and if you get in a fairy circle, that's what you'll basically be doing for the rest of your days.
And I'm not complaining.
I'm definitely not gonna complain from that.
Like out of all things to complain for, this is not a complainable situation.
Yep.
I personally really think this is funny. Now the only thing that we were concerned about is I don't want to break one because. And here's the TMI part. If no one cares, is I'm like 6.5, and so I feel like even then, because that's like a normal size, and I feel like I would break one, and I would be like, oh, that's not good.
Yes, I am I am 6 inches, and even still, I am afraid I would break one because not only of size but also because of certain curvature.
I thought you were about to come out here and just be like, nah, like 9. I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, no.
Because you're like, no, because I give this like a 6. I'm like, maybe a little bit, and then you're like, nah, 1, and I'm like, oh god. No, this is enjoyable for many reasons. One, for convenience. 2, for if you like smaller girls.
Yeah.
Not even like lolly, but just like if you like smaller girls.
And if you like more childish girls as well. Because their disposition is childish.
Well, yeah, of course, no matter what their age, they're going to act like a child.
Yeah.
They're going to act like all happy and go-lucky kind of thing. All I can think about is the show or interspecies review where she measures that one guy goes, "Oh yeah, you can pick anyone you want." She just goes, "Oh."
Well, because he was a halfling, of course he could choose whoever he wanted.
Now here's the thing: how would girls feel about this one?
Oh goodness.
Yeah, like right, like I was thinking about this. I'm like, if a girl went to a brothel for fairies, what are they going? Are they going to use the fairy themselves?
Okay, so here's what I'm immediately thinking.
Uh-huh.
Either A, you get either a fairy or a bunch of fairies
Tie them together.
To lick your clit.
I thought you were gonna and tie them together.
No.
And then ram it in.
No.
And go about your day.
No. If you were a girl, I would imagine you would get either one or multiple of them to lick your clit, or to kind of just play with your clit in general, because that, I feel like with their size, like, it would be very easy for them to basically use their whole body to pleasure the clit.
See, if I was a girl, it would be like a butt plug thing, right? Like, you just put them in your vagina, and then you rent them for the day, put them in your vagina, and then you put your pants back on, and then you go about your day with it.
And they're just playing inside of you while no one notices.
While no one notices. And that could get you off.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do that with guys if you want. No.
Yeah, not really.
No, I mean, you could if you wanted, but...
Unless they could find your prostate, then maybe.
Then maybe, but this is, I'd have to... I think I'm gonna stick with my 6 on this one.
I think overall, I think I'm going to give... Oh, goodness. I think I'll give this...
Because you're not going to give it a 1 anymore.
Yeah, I'm not going to give it a 1 anymore. I think I'll give this a 7.
Wow, that was a big jump.
Yep.
Like,
because even if I can only get them to just the head of my dick, I still feel that as a basic living onohole, I could still get at least something out of that. Well, so even if it's just a single fairy, but if it's a group of fairies, obviously that changes, so on and so forth.
Because for me personally, I like, as I've said before many times, I like taller girls. I like more muscly girls. I like that. Mm-hmm. This is the opposite of both now, but the difference is this has other things that I enjoy from other fetishes that are not that, which is the bulging, the conflation, the handhold is really convenient and like cute as well.
Yep.
So it's one of those things where this is hitting on a lot of notes, but it's not hitting on my favorite notes.
That is fair. It's hitting a couple of my favorite notes. So yeah, thus I have given this a little bit higher of a rating. My favorite thing, like I've said, is mouth play, and I cannot do that with a fairy. Yeah, unfortunately you can't.
I straight up can't. The only thing I'm gonna get from them is literally drowning them in cum. That's it. This is just literally drown.
Pretty much.
That would be the worst. Oh, what happened to the fairy? She drowned. What do you mean she drowned?
Look, I was backed up for a few days. I really needed to get it all out, and well, they couldn't part the Red Sea, or the White Sea in this case.
Oh no.
What would you be, a fairy girl? No. And how afraid would you be of breaking them?
What kind of fairy would you go for? What kind of color? What kind of
fairy wings?
What kind of fairy? What would you go for?
What type of nature type? Would it be a more elemental type? Would it be pure woodlands, etc., etc.?
I gotta go for woodland.
That's fair. I think I gotta go for woodland as well. They wear way less clothing.
Exactly. Easier access.
Exactly.
Nymphs?
Yep.
Yeah, like nymphs.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening. Please check out the wonderful artists that we have for doing this thumbnail. I'm guessing. Do you want to do this one, Trevor?
I'll get someone to do this. It shouldn't be too difficult. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to give it a like. If you want to see more of these fantastic episodes, be sure to subscribe. And if you want updates on the show, be sure to follow us on Twitter.
And once again, thank you so much for listening, you degenerates.
And until then, stay tuned for the next episode.
Bye.